The temples of Rome stand as monuments to power, their columns and arches telling stories of glory and conquest. But beneath the marble there are hidden histories, stories of those Rome conquered and erased. Among the defeated were powerful queens, women who led armies and defied the empire. Rome's victory was psychological, its monuments reminders of humiliation and loss. Queens like Boudicca and Amanirenas became public warnings. Resist Rome, and your legacy will be shame. The marble veils of Rome hide as much as they reveal. Every empire's glory is built on forgotten pain. Rome's conquest was as much psychological as it was military. Public humiliation of captured leaders, especially queens, was a calculated display. Female rulers threatened Roman ideas of order. Their defeat was staged to restore natural male authority. Captive queens were paraded in chains, stripped of royal status, and turned into objects of scorn. Their humiliation was broadcast in art and coins, spreading the message of Roman dominance. The goal destroy hope, erase identity, and make resistance seem impossible. If even a queen could be broken, what chance did ordinary people have? Rome's spectacle of power was a warning to all submission or shame. The architecture of humiliation was everywhere. Arches, statues, coins, reminding the conquered of their place. This strategy kept Rome's vast empire in check for centuries. The humiliation of one became the subjugation of millions. Rome's control was built not just on force, but on the destruction of dignity. The legacy of this psychological warfare lingers in the ruins and in the stories Rome tried to erase. The architecture of humiliation was as enduring as the stones themselves. The Roman triumph was the ultimate display of victory, a parade of power through the city's heart. Crowds cheered as generals flaunted their spoils, gold, art, and prisoners. At the center were the captives, kings, queens, and their children, forced to walk in chains before the conqueror's chariot. For a queen, this was the height of humiliation. Once revered, now a trophy for the mob. The message was clear: defy Rome, and your fate will be public shame. The parade ended at the temple of Jupiter, where the general offered thanks to the gods. Male captives were often executed. Queens faced a quieter but equally cruel erasure. They were not killed, but condemned to obscurity, their stories rewritten or forgotten. The spectacle was not just for Rome, but for the world, a warning and a lesson. The triumph turned personal tragedy into imperial propaganda. The power of Rome was not just in its armies, but in its ability to control memory. The spectacle of power was as much about the future as the past. Every triumph was a rehearsal for the next conquest. In Britannia, Boudicca, queen of the Iceni, became the face of rebellion. After Rome seized her lands and brutalized her family, Boudicca rose up. Her army burned Colchester, London, and St. Albans, shaking Roman rule. But Rome struck back with brutal force. Facing defeat, Boudicca chose death over capture. Though her revolt was crushed, her defiance became legend. Boudicca's name still echoes as a symbol of resistance. In Nubia, Queen Amanirenas, known as Candace, stood against Rome. When Rome tried to dominate Kush, Amanirenas struck first, attacking Roman forts and cities in Egypt. She famously took the bronze head of Augustus and buried it beneath a temple, forcing all who entered to tread on Rome's image. Rome retaliated, sending armies to devastate Kushite lands. Amanirenas, undeterred even after losing an eye in battle, fought on with guerrilla tactics. The Romans could not secure victory. The war dragged on. Eventually, Rome agreed to negotiate. Amanirenas secured a peace treaty, no tribute, and Rome withdrew from Kushite lands. Unlike most who faced Rome, she forced the empire to respect her borders. Amanirenas' defiance was rare and remarkable. She turned Roman aggression into a stalemate, preserving her kingdom's independence. Her story is a powerful counterpoint to Rome's narrative of invincibility. The one-eyed queen proved that even the greatest empire could be resisted. Her legacy is one of resilience and strategic brilliance. Amanirenas remains a symbol of victory against overwhelming odds. For captive queens who survived, life after Rome's triumph was a gilded prison. Spared execution, they lived in quiet captivity, isolated, watched, and powerless. Zenobia of Palmyra is the most famous example. Paraded in golden chains, she was given a villa near Rome, her children married into Roman nobility. Outwardly merciful, in truth it was erasure. Life after Rome was survival without freedom, a living memory of loss. Rome's legacy endures in our laws and architecture, but also in the scars of conquest. The humiliation of captive queens reveals the empire's darker side, systematic erasure and domination. Conquered peoples lost not just land, but identity. Their histories rewritten, their traditions suppressed. The public degradation of their leaders wounded entire nations, teaching inferiority and submission. This cultural erasure left wounds that echo for centuries. Even Rome was scarred. Its obsession with domination hardened society and fueled endless cycles of conquest. The spectacle of triumph normalized cruelty and shaped Roman identity. Ultimately, this hunger for power contributed to Rome's decline. The stories of Boudicca, Amanirenas, and Zenobia are not just footnotes, they are testaments to resistance. Their defiance challenges the myth of Roman greatness. Today, their voices remind us to seek out hidden histories and question the cost of empire. The past is never simple. The scars of power run deep. Remembering these stories is an act of resistance in itself.